The two roads of destiny. Some stories are more than moments of history. Some stories are mirrors, showing us exactly where we stand in our own journey. This is the tale of two ordinary men, Edwin C. Barnes and R.U. Darby, whose lives taught one timeless lesson. Success does not belong to the strong. It belongs to those who refuse to stop. Their paths began miles apart, but their destinies shared a secret. One man held on until the world gave him his chance. The other stopped 3 feet from his miracle. This is their story. Part 1. The man who walked into his dream. Edwin C. Barnes, Desire in Human Form. Chapter 1. A Vision on the Rails. The year was early 1900s America. Factories roared, invention filled the air, and opportunity lived in every spark of a machine. Far from the glow of success, a young man stood in the corner of a train station in Wisconsin. His clothes were dusty, worn, almost embarrassing. His pockets were empty. His shoes were old. His face carried the exhaustion of long nights and long walks. But his eyes carried a fire that didn't match his life. This young man was Edwin C. Barnes, and he held inside him one obsession so powerful that it burned away every doubt. He wanted to become a business partner of Thomas Edison, not work for Edison, not meet Edison, not photograph Edison. He wanted to be his partner. A goal so big, people would have laughed if he said it out loud. Barnes didn't come from wealth. He didn't come from education. He didn't come from privilege. He came from belief, the kind that sits in a man's chest and refuses to die. When a freight train slowed down on the tracks, Barnes didn't hesitate. He climbed on board. No ticket, no plan, no warranty, just a decision powerful enough to rewrite his life. Chapter 2. The First Step into Greatness. When Barnes arrived in New Jersey, he stood before Edison's massive research laboratory. The building towered above him like a monument of possibility. Barnes gathered his courage, wiped the dirt from his jacket, and stepped inside. Workers stared. Managers frowned. Some even laughed. "Who is this tramp?" someone whispered. But Barnes walked forward with dignity. And then, suddenly, there he was. Thomas Alva Edison, the greatest inventor of his time, stood before him. Edison looked at the young man with curiosity. "Son," Edison said, "what brings you here?" Barnes looked straight into the eyes of the world's greatest inventor and said something no one had ever dared to say. "I came here to become your partner." There was silence. A long, deep silence. But Edison did not laugh. He later wrote, "There was something in his eyes, a determination that said he would get what he came for. But partnerships are not given, they are earned." So Barnes didn't become Edison's partner that day. He didn't even get a respectable job. Instead, Edison gave him the lowest position in the building. A cleaner, a helper, an errand boy. To others, it was humiliation. To Barnes, it was hope. Because he wasn't there for the job. He was there for the opportunity. Chapter 3. 5 years of invisible work. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Months became years. For 5 long years, Barnes worked in silence while others mocked him. He swept floors while others built inventions. He cleaned machines while others created history. But Barnes had one powerful advantage. He never let the dream fade. While he cleaned each night, he whispered to himself, "I will become Edison's partner. Not one day, but soon." He watched Edison carefully. He studied his decisions. He learned his thinking. Barnes wasn't just working. He was preparing. He wasn't waiting for opportunity. He was becoming the man ready for it. Chapter 4. The Unexpected Door. Then, one afternoon, everything changed. Edison presented a new invention. The Edison dictating machine, a strange device that many believed would fail. Salesmen shrugged. Some laughed. Others said, "It will never sell." Edison stood disappointed. But in the corner of the room, Barnes felt something awaken inside him. A pull, a whisper, a calling. He stepped forward. "Mr. Edison," he said softly, "let me sell it." Edison turned to face him closely. For 5 years, he had watched this young man work tirelessly with one thought in his heart. He smiled. "Go ahead, Barnes. Show them what you can do." And with that, destiny opened its door. Barnes traveled across states, knocking on doors demonstrating the machine, explaining its brilliance. His energy was unstoppable. His passion was undeniable. Sales exploded. Orders flooded in. Edison was astonished. This young man, who once swept the floors, had done what seasoned salesmen could not. Soon after, the newspapers printed a slogan seen across America. Made by Edison, installed by Barnes. He had done it. Barnes became Edison's business partner. The dream he carried on a freight train. The desire he held through 5 years of struggle. The belief that others mock. Became reality. Art 2. The man who stopped 3 feet from gold. Are you Darby? The lesson of a lifetime. Chapter 5. The first spark of hope. While Barnes was rising, miles away in Colorado, a different story was unfolding. A man named R.U. Darby and his uncle discovered a shining gold vein in a mountain. The excitement was overwhelming. They imagined riches, houses, land, everything success promised. They rushed home, gathered money, bought machines, and returned to the mine with high spirits. At first, everything looked promising. They found gold, real gold, enough to fill their hearts with hope. But soon, the gold disappeared. The excitement turned into confusion. Confusion turned into stress. Stress turned into fear. Chapter 6. The slow death of a dream. They drilled deeper, and deeper, and deeper, but nothing came out. The enthusiasm faded. The noise of the machines echoed like failure. Darby and his uncle looked at each other after another empty day. "We failed," his uncle sighed. "Let's give up." With heavy hearts, they quit. They sold their equipment to a junk dealer and left the mountain behind. The dream that once felt so real now felt foolish. Chapter 7. The truth beneath their feet. The junk dealer did something Darby and his uncle did not. He asked for expert advice. He brought in a mining engineer who studied the mountain structure and examined the rock formations. The engineer calmly delivered the truth. They stopped digging just 3 feet too early. 3 feet. The distance between poverty and wealth. Between quitting and winning. Between devastation and destiny. The junk dealer dug 3 more feet and struck one of the richest gold veins in Colorado history. He became a millionaire. Darby later said that this moment shook him to his core. His failure wasn't destiny. It wasn't bad luck. It was a choice. He quit right at the edge of success. Chapter 8. Turning failure into power. Darby returned home embarrassed, frustrated, and broken. But instead of letting the mistake destroy him, he decided to use it. He promised himself, "I will never stop 3 feet from gold again." Darby entered the life insurance business. At first, he struggled. People rejected him. They shut doors in his face. They ignored his offers. But every time someone said no, Darby remembered the mine. He remembered the gold he walked away from. He pushed again, and again, and again. His persistence paid off. He became one of the leading insurance salesmen in the nation. Darby learned the most important lesson of his life. Success is often hiding behind a final, painful test. Most people fail it because they quit. INL Chapter. The 2 roads we all walk. Barnes held on to a dream for 5 years before opportunity came. Darby gave up after months, not knowing destiny was 3 feet away. One became a partner of Thomas Edison. The other lost a fortune because he quit too soon, but redeemed himself by changing his mindset. Their stories teach us greatness is not about talent. It is about persistence. It is about the courage to believe when nothing is happening. It is about digging one more time, even when you want to stop. Barnes teaches us that dreams come true when we hold on. Darby teaches us that dreams die when we let go too early. So ask yourself, how close are you to your gold? Are you steps away? Are you 3 feet away? Don't stop now. Don't walk away. Don't lose what's waiting for you. Because often, your miracle is closer than you think.